Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale and I'm owner of Off the Beaded Path located in Forest City, North Carolina. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a Montee embellished pearl bracelet. Now, this bracelet is a right angle weave technique and I'm going to be using 2 needles. This bracelet has been in numerous magazines. It has been redone so many times you can't count it on all your fingers and toes. Everybody has their own version. A wonderful lady named Mary emailed me this week and sent me some pictures of some projects she would like to learn. The thing I need you guys to understand, I would love to teach you all these projects and sit here all day and do this, but I have to have permission from the designer to do the project. So unless I have permission, I can't do it. Now, what I can teach you is if I don't have permission, I can teach you alternative patterns for what you might send me. So just understand that if you ever send me a request to do a video and I don't do it, it's not because I don't want to, it's for the fact that I have to have permission from the original designer. So, Mary, this video is for you. I hope that you enjoy it and I hope this helps you make a bracelet for your daughter's wedding. Today, for the project, you're going to need 2 wire protectors, which I'll show you what that is if you don't know. You're going to need your choice of a clasp. You're going to need some 6-pound fire line, 2 size 10 or 12 beading needles. You're going to need some 6mm pearls, any color, your choice. You're going to need a size 11 seed bead, and they can be delicas or Japanese seed beads, whichever you prefer. Or you also need some 3.9mm Montees. Now, I will show you what a Montee is if you're not familiar, and you can find the 6mm, which I used on last week's project, and you can also find the 3.9s for this week's project on our Etsy store, which is listed below and then at the end of the video. So guys, get your materials together and we'll get started. So before I get started with the actual project, I want you to see what a crystal Montee is. The front part is a crystal flat back bead, and then the back part, it's a little hard to tell here, but it has 2 holes in a cross shape or an X shape, so that way you can stitch it to things. So this is a 3.9 size that you'll need. Now, another piece I say you need is a wire protector, or some people call it a wire guardian, and this is what it looks like. And you can also find this on our Etsy store. But to get started, what we need to do is take your needle, and we need to thread onto each end of about a 2.5 to 3 yard piece of fire line, whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm going to start out by picking up a seed bead, a pearl, a seed bead, a pearl, a seed bead, a pearl, and a seed bead. So you should have 4 seed beads and 3 pearls. And I'm going to let them go down off the needle just a little bit, and then I'm going to take 1 needle, I'm going to pick up 1 pearl, pull it off the needle just a little bit, and then I'll take the other needle and go through it the other way so that my needles are coming out opposite sides of the same bead. Now I'm going to put my needles together, grab this 1 bead, and I'm going to pull it so that it pulls the bead down to the center, so that now I have a square of beads. Now, this is right angle weave. It's just we're doing this in a 2 needle technique so that it's a little bit easier for you. So now I'm going to pick up a seed bead onto each needle, 1 6mm pearl onto each needle, and 1 seed bead onto each needle. And I'm going to let those beads fall. Now, I'm going to pick up 1 6mm. I'm going to pull it off the needle just a little bit, and then I'll take my other needle and cross through the bead so that it's going opposite ways. So that when I pull, I now get a second square. So one more time so you can see, I'm going to have a seed bead onto each needle, one 6mm onto each needle, and one seed bead onto each needle. I'm going to let those fall off the needles just a little bit, and then I will pick up one pearl with one needle, pull this pearl off the needle just a little bit, and then take the other needle and cross through the pearl so that I have two needles opposite sides, and pull. And you want to continue these steps until you reach the desired length of the bracelet. Now remember, we have to put your clasp on, so leave about an inch to add your clasp. So I now have the length of my bracelet. My bracelet has 16 boxes, and the easiest way to count your boxes is to count your side beads here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 boxes. And I'm ready to put one into my clasp on. So what I'll do is, with one needle only, just the one, I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads. Sorry, 5 seed beads. And then I'm going to be using my wire protector. Now, when you get ready to use your wire protector, I'll show you how to thread it on. It's super easy. It has 2 holes, and it's a little bit hard to see them here, but it has a hole here and here in the U shape. So I'm going to take the needle, and I'm going to come up one side, and then I'm going to come down the other side, just like this, so that when I pull, the thread will be around the outer edge of the U shape. Now I'm going to go ahead and thread on my biggest part of my clasp first. This clasp I'm going to be using is a Tiara cast clasp, and it's pewter, so I know it's going to last a good little bit. And sometimes if you have a little bit of problem trying to get it into your wire protector, just open it up a little bit. It's no problem. Now, what I like to do is I like to squeeze my wire protector a little bit closer together like that. And then I'll take that same needle, and I'm going to come down through just one bead. So it'll be the 5th seed bead that I threaded on. And we're going to pull it down tight to your beads. Now I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads with the same needle. And I started the clasp coming out on this side here. So what I'm going to do is take the needle, and I'm going to come through this end pearl here, going back the same way, so that when I pull, my clasp now is around this last bead. Now before I go on and do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and take this other needle that I did not use, and I'm going to come through the 4 seed beads that I just added, through the 1 bead that I went through, that's the 5th bead, up through the wire protector, one side, through the clasp, down the wire protector, and then the seed bead on the other side. Now, when you come down the other side of your wire protector, make sure your thread goes around the wire protector and not around the bottom of the clasp. If you do, you will have a thread hanging out when you get done, and you will not be a happy girl or a boy. And sometimes it takes a little working, but you'll get it in there. There we go. I'm going to come down through the 4 that I originally put on to start with, and then back through the pearl again. So I just reinforced what I just did. Now if you want to, you can reinforce that again, but it's not necessary. You've gone through it twice. And now we're ready to start our embellishments on the top. So what I'm going to do with each needle is I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads. Now, on the back of your Montee, you have an X shape in your hole. So I'm going to take one needle and cross this way, and the other needle and cross this way. But before I do it, I'm going to hold it with the color facing up. So I'm going to go through it with one needle, and then I'm going to go through it with the other needle. I'm not going through the same hole, I'm going through different holes there. And I'm going to pull it down. Now I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads on each needle. And then I'm going to cross my needles opposite ways through the very next pearl that's here on the inside. I'm never going to be crossing through any of these outer pearls. Now you can do the same thing with crystals if you want to do crystals for the top. You can start out by picking up a seed bead and a crystal with each needle. Then pick up 1 seed bead and cross opposite ways through the 1 seed bead. And then pick up a crystal and a seed bead with each needle and cross opposite ways through your next pearl. And that will give you an X of crystals over the top. But I love the way Montees look. I think they just give it a little bit of sparkle. Not a whole lot, as much as your actual bicone crystals would. So that's why I like it. So now I'm going to go down through the whole thing, following the same pattern of 3 seed beads on each needle, and I'm going to let them fall. And then I will cross through a Montee. So again, I'm going to hold it with the color upward. I'm going to go through one hole, and then I'll take the needle and come through the other needle and come through the other hole so that I'm making the X shape here. Pull it down, and then 3 seed beads on each needle. And I will take and cross opposite ways through the next pearl in the center. And you will do this all the way till you get down to the very last set of beads. So now I have all my seed bead and Montee embellishments done for the top of my bracelet, and I'm ready to add the other end. Now we're going to do it exactly like we did the first end. I have both my needles exiting opposite ends here of the very last pearl that I went through. And I'm going to thread on 5 seed beads. And I'm going to let those drop. I will thread on my Montee, or my wire protector, and I will come up through one side and take and come down the other side. And remember, make sure your thread goes inside of the wire protector. So pull it down, and then I'm going to add the other part of my clasp and make sure it goes up inside of the wire protector. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and pinch the end of my wire protector here, and I'm going to go back through the 5th seed bead I added. Now I'll add 4 more seed beads. Take the needle, and I'm going to come back to this side and go through the pearl. So that now my clasp is attached. Now go ahead and take this other needle, the one I just did not work with, and I'm going to come through the 4 seed beads, through the 1 seed bead, up through one side of the clasp, through the clasp and down through the other side. Remember, make sure the thread gets caught there on the wire protector. I'm going to come through the 1 seed bead there, and then down through the 4 to this side. And then, before I go through the pearl, I'm going to go ahead and take my 2 pieces and I'm going to tie the 2 threads together in a couple of good knots. Now I'll take the needle and I'll come through the pearl. There we go. And now I'll go ahead and stitch through a few beads, and if you want to, you can do some knots, like some half hitch knots, by going under the thread between 2 beads, leaving yourself a little circle and going through the circle. Or you can simply stitch to where both threads will come out next to each other and tie them together again. And if it helps, you can flip the piece over so you can go around and actually see really good where you're going. And I'll go ahead and take these 2 pieces and tie them into a couple of more knots. Now, I never ever trim my thread where my knots are at. So I will take, and with 1 needle, I'll go through the middle pearl there. And then with the other needle, I'll stitch through the seed bead, the pearl, and the seed bead. And then I'll take my cutters trim the thread, and now I have my finished bracelet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As you can see, the bracelet is really quick and easy to make. My mom's birthday is coming up in August, so that's why I did this in the peridot colors. So good, quick, easy gift to give her. And like I said, this bracelet has been done countless times, countless ways. This is just an easy version of the bracelet to make. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you cannot find the 3.9 Montees, be sure and check out our Etsy site, and we will have them listed on there, as well as the 6mm Montees from last week's video. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next week for a new beading project.